here with
Vince Krow.
and today we're doing a collaboration between our two channels to discuss the new generation of retro games. So you guys will probably notice that retro games have changed a lot. The historical retro games from the Super Nintendo era are coming back, but now they're even more updated with better visuals, but still maintaining that 2D platforming feel. I think that a new generation of retro games, such as the remake of the DuckTales series, as well as various other titles such as Contra, are leading a charge towards developing a new feel and focus on titles that people grew up with and really enjoy. What are your thoughts, Vince?
Yes, and as a person that actually grew up on Contra, I'd love to see the revamp of it. I would love to play it.
Cool. Well, what retro titles are you really looking at other than Contra?
Um, Not very sure. I haven't really looked at any retro games recently, but I've had a couple of revamped retro games like Bionic Commando and games like that, and I loved what they did with that.
Yeah, Bionic Commando is a real classic. I think that they're really working to maintain that old school feel without alienating, new players. They're adding 3D elements without going too far that it distracts from the original setup of the game.
Yeah.
What other retro titles have you played in the past?
I don't remember the names, but I remember most when I was a child, I used to play old games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the I can't remember the name. It's a game with a frog and like you had a bike that you had to jump obstacles, and if one of the players died, you had to start the whole level over.
It's like I should remember the name, but I don't. But but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man, that was a hard game.
Yes. It took me so long to beat that game.
I swear the little shits of today would they would die playing that game. They honestly,
On the first level they would, I swear.
back in those days, we didn't have the great physics engines that we have today. If it was either you made that precise jump or you died.
Yeah. And you had to start the entire level over if you didn't make the jump.
Man, that's another thing, okay? Save points. These little shits, they start again right where they died. Back in our
Yeah.
days, we had to start the entire level over, if not the entire game.
Yes. And usually it's only 3 lives, and if you lose all three of them, that's done. You got to start it all over.
I think that it's elements like that why people are returning to these older titles and why retro games are making a big comeback and developers are now creating new titles based around the same visual and gameplay styles. I mean, look at Dark Souls and the popularity of Dark Souls. One of the reasons why it's so popular is because it's so difficult. It gives players a real challenge again, which is something that often is missing from modern titles.
Yes.
So I think those are some of the reasons why we're going to see more and more retro games coming from indie studios, and sooner than later, we'll probably see many bigger studios also re-examining a focus. And sooner than later, we'll probably also see many bigger studios putting some focus on creating retro type games again because there's a market calling for it. Even GameStop is now selling older systems again and classics that people grew up on. So I think those are really great points that explain the new focus on retro games. So with that said, I think that this was an incredible interview. I want to thank Vince Krow,
Yes.
and you can check out my channel by clicking on the link in his description, or you can visit his channel by clicking on the link in my description. And with that said, I just want to remind everyone to just remember to do something savage today.
Never thought a day would come through. Some fool, now I run through every chick I ever wanted to. Every night is like a green light. Seem like pre-game with the team like, then it seem like this is exactly what my dream like. She like what I like.